Deny, defend, depose. Was he correct? No, he was not in his actions. What he did was wrong. Let's just face it. Now, the knee jerk reaction to what he did is what's interesting because he galvanized anyone in the world who's ever been done by any entity, not just insurance. This is landlords to, whoever who's in power, it could be the maintenance man or whoever. And then you're left powerless, or you think you are, and you're fed up because you can't, get to where you're supposed to be in some shape, form, or fashion. And, you can't get through the bureaucracy or the paperwork or just past the front door. In some cases, people hold information from you just because they want to lord it over you that I have something that you want and you'll get it when I feel like giving it to you. And they love it, because it puts them in a place of so-called power. They think they're elevated, but the truth is everybody, can get sat down real quick in a non-violent way. I'm not talking about go out and do what this guy did. I'm talking about next thing you know, you're on your way to work and, who knows, you catch a flat tire and, somebody takes your place and they like them better than you. And, they say, hey, don't even worry about coming back. I mean, who knows? With the way people are losing their jobs nowadays, anything can happen. You think you have a job, you've been there for 30 years, you show up and they're just like, hey, you're done. Go home. So, be careful with all of that, acting like you're high and mighty, because nobody really is. These people been doing this for years and people have lost a lot, and I have a degree in health administration. And I want to say that while I was studying, I did come across a story that I did a paper on, because I was more interested in, the ins and outs of healthcare as far as what happens when you go to the hospital, type of thing, but more behind the scenes, stuff like that, the finances, who can get, certain services, who can't. And there was a woman, this was a true story also, who had a child, and she took her child to the local hospital, the general hospital, shall I say. And the general hospital turned her son away because he was terminal. He had something that was going to be with him for the rest of his life. And they looked at how expensive it would be to treat him. And she had insurance, but she didn't have the right kind of insurance or something. And so she had to take her son to a hospital that was like 2 hours away. And she constantly had to make this trip. I don't know if the little boy passed away because of that, but situations like that cause people to, question the system. And they're like, why? Like, why can't this be like this? Why is it so difficult? And it really all comes down to money. That's what it comes down to. If I talked to somebody who works in a hospital, and they said once their bill hits $35,000, or excuse me, $3,500, they have to leave the hospital. So we know that, $3,500 is nothing to the hospital. Hell, you can get 2 aspirin, will cost you $500. So that is nothing. So just imagine if you need an x-ray, or you need anything like that, you have to stay over. You need a heart stent, or have mercy if you need it, a gallbladder, or I don't know, just a foot operation. Have mercy on you, because the insurance companies are telling people you need to get out of there once you hit, this much, and then I'm sure they still have a copay. So it, it's difficult. It's difficult now when it comes to the insurance companies and how much they are willing to pay. It's difficult, you know, and I do want to say this for you people who are veterans. Take advantage of the system. Uh, if you're a veteran, if you're a veteran, you're married. Make sure your kids are taken care of. Because there's health care out there for you now. Even the veterans system is different, because once you make so much money, once they see you make so much money, then you have to start paying into that system. And I'm not all the way upset about that. State of the points, boy. Hey, what's going on? So, and then when it comes to the veterans hospitals, some veterans hospitals, like you don't stay at that hospital. It's an outpatient. I think that's the correct term. And which basically says when you come in there, even if you come in a triage, you're going to be sent out to the specialist. So if you need a heart cath, it's not going to be done at the VA. That's going to be done at, the university hospital, so on and something like that, or the other hospitals that are in the area. And sometimes they will ask the veteran, where do you want to go? Now, what's really important is if you're a veteran and you walk into University Hospital, University Hospital is going to ask you who's insuring you. They want to know who's paying for this. And if you go, the VA, and if they go, did the VA send you here? And you go, no, but I'm a veteran. Guess who's paying for it? You are. You are. If it's not connected, so let's do it like this. Say you had a gout or something's wrong with your feet. You went to the VA for it. The VA is doing all of your care. They sent you to University Hospital. The VA picks up the tab. But and then let's say that you're out one day, your foot is terrible. The VA is closed at 6:00. You go into the same university. The VA is going to pick that up. But let's just say that you go in the general hospital. You haven't been there for this issue. The VA is not going to pick that up. So you guys need to understand that. What you saying? Hurrah. Kinfolk, is that what you're saying? Yeah, so the VA is not going to pick that up. So be careful with the VA. Now, for those of you who got, Medicare, Medicaid, be careful with that too. Because you can walk into your PPO and they're going to say, okay, so what do you have? Medicare, Medicaid, both of them, or just Medicare. And you're going to go, well, I got Medicare, Medicaid. And they're going to say, let me see your Medicaid and Medicare card. So they want to see the blue card, and they want to see whoever you got your Medicaid through, Aetna or whoever, I don't know, whatever insurance company. So they're going to look at both of your cards, and if your Medicare card is not up to date, they're going to say, boom, not happening with Medicare, which means you're going to have what? A copay. Because that's what, Medicaid. Medicaid pays your copay. So A and B is what it is. So boom, you might have a copay. You might get billed for that. So I had a situation where, I went to my PPO and they were like, this is no longer any good. So I had to call Medicare and say, what insurance do I have? Make it clear to them. And so I'm not making a payment. And if I am, what am I paying? So they were like, you are no longer on Medicaid. Now check this. The reason why I was no longer on Medicaid is because I hit a financial threshold without me doing anything. Basically, I got, I got too much money sent to me and they took me off Medicaid and said, you're no longer on this type of Medicaid. You have this type of Medicaid and Medicare. So it cut out the copayment. And because I had walked into to get a mental evaluation, and the place I walked into said, you don't have Medicaid. Well, I did, but I didn't have the kind to make the copayment. So I had to pay the $20 for the copayment, and then they billed me for the rest of it. And I was like, wait a minute, now my insurance should pick this up. And they're like, nope, your insurance is not picking that up. So be careful with these insurance companies, because you might think you're good, even if you're on SSI or SSDI or whatever, and you're not. You can walk into one of these places, you can catch a bill for whatever it is, and it could be hefty, especially if you're low income, right? So I want to say that sometimes the healthcare system is not very cut and dry, and the healthcare system might do something. The healthcare system might do something that you're fully unaware of. I was totally unaware of. Once the next month came around, they added on more money in one area, and that took me right over the threshold. And next thing you know, I get a letter and say, hey, you don't have this. But nonetheless, I had to make an appointment and do all this other stuff, and then I got billed for it. It was like, wait, what? So this is one reason why people have been frustrated with the system. And another thing is, like, I like healthcare workers. I get along with them. But I've seen some healthcare workers say some pretty harsh things to people who are really, really sick. And I just don't think that should be going on either. So there are situations in healthcare where people just can't get healthcare, and or they get the wrong kind of healthcare. I've seen people get the wrong kind of healthcare, and next thing you know, they're expired, they're gone, and it's like this person was just doing okay, and as soon as they get into a hospital, a hospice, or something like that, 2 weeks later, you're gone. You just checked into this hospice. You were wide awake and bushy-tailed. Boom, you're gone. Just gone, just like that. And nobody has any answers. That's enough to make people, go postal. So I just wanted to get on this subject and add myself in there with the rest of America and say, hey, these are the experience I've been having with the healthcare system. And it's rough. It's rough sometimes, especially if you don't have a lot of money coming in. It could be rough. It's your boy Tone 202. I'm out.